I think you need to seriously step away from it. Do you think the people on the other side know about my life? Nah. They only know about DM Dokuro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my first ever interview of YouTubers and stuff like that. So, who do we have here today?
Hey everyone! Surprise, I guess.
Yes, we have DM Dokuro on the show today, and we are gonna just get right into it. So, who are you and what do you do?
My name is DM Dokuro. I am a voice actor, composer, 3D hobbyist, biggest VR fan. Though, man, my stuff is like disconnected and such. I need to get that back up and ready. I need to play Beat Saber again.
How long?
Well over a month. Going on 2. And Boneworks just came out with their fucking update. Beautiful parkour update. Oh my goodness.
Do you do modded or normal Beat Saber?
I always go for modded.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because, well, 1, custom avatars and such, and 2, I get to make my own.
Oh, so you make your own levels?
Yeah.
Do you do any of your own music?
There was one that I did, it had a really shitty chart. It was called How to Be Hip and Trendy in 2018. And literally all you had to do for the drop was T-pose.
That sounds...
I have literally made a drop that was nothing but Morse code and T-posing. Yeah, am I proud of myself now?
So, let's go on to, when was, like, your first time ever, like, dabbling with music, and why did you start?
My first time ever dabbling with music was back when I was about 10 years old. And I was using a program called Anvil Studio, and it was just mainly general MIDI and such. But that's where I started. I didn't know how to compose shit at the time. I just kind of took notes from my favorite video games.
Did you teach yourself any, like, instruments at the time? You said you were starting piano, right?
Well, currently I'm starting piano. I used to actually have piano lessons back when I was about 5, I believe, or 7. I can't particularly remember, but I did have piano lessons that did not follow through.
Do you have any people that, like, inspire you in, like, the music that keep you going forward and stuff?
Man, don't ask me that question because I don't know where to start and where to end.
We need a lot of time on this video, so
Oh yeah.
feel go free as long as you want.
I mean, in terms of current inspirations, we got Jacob Collier, we got Knower, we got... Who else do we got? We got Snarky Puppy. We got... Damn, I have to go to my Spotify playlist. I mean, if you want like a very good idea of what I listen to a lot of Daft Punk, Aphex Twin, a lot of Death Grips, a shit ton of Bill Wirtz.
Ooh, Bill Wirtz.
So that's like just a little glimpse into what I listen to. And of course, Venetian Snares is my god.
How would you describe your own music?
Varied. Definitely varied.
In what way?
In the way that I do not go for one particular genre every time. I just switch it up every time.
You just don't always stay with the same thing. You like to dabble around different territory?
Yes.
Do you, what is your, what, I've always wondered this about, like, other musicians and stuff. What is, like, your creative process?
My creative process, as of late, actually, is to just sit down, try to work out a melody, and from there harmonize it with chords that both surpass human expectation and dodge it instantaneously. So, like, you're expecting this to happen and this to happen, but really this happens and you're like, oh, wow, shit. It's those moments where I feel that I'm at my best. Especially when creating something like Action and Consequence. That was a moment where I showed just how powerful my music can be.
How, like, when the full mind gets set to something and, like, you let the thoughts take away.
Let the emotion drive you, and there you have it.
Okay, now we're gonna start dabbling into the other territory, how does YouTube affect your mental health?
Pretty badly. It has a very shitty moderation system. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to pull punches here.
Mm-hmm.
Moderation needs to get it shut together because holy fuck, it is worse than Facebook, if not the worst possible comment section you could ever possibly find on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Is there certain causes that like give you that like bad taste in your mouth, like with stuff like this, like community groups, workload, or is it just moderation?
Well, the thing about moderation is that the people who are given moderation don't have that much power. They don't have the power to delete and shit. So, upon every moment that they are given a comment, they just filter it out. That's all they can do. And we definitely need moderators that can both block and delete messages or
Mm-hmm.
delete comments.
Yes.
If that can happen, then more than likely we can see a very big increase on how these communities are handled.
How would you say that YouTube has changed for the better or the worse in the past years?
The worst, and I can tell you why. Video responses, favorites, friends, customizable fucking channels. All gone. And what are we left with? A shitty YouTube studio that literally tells you that you're doing shit.
Is the workload difficult in your opinion?
In terms of being consistent, it is almost impossible for me to be consistent. The thing about me is that I take my time when doing things like music and art because really deadlines just fuck up my brain.
Yeah. That's one thing that's kind of messed with me when I was working on like my first ever like self-produced album stuff. It was so much fun at the start, but the problem was is like I tell everybody around me and all my friends about it, and then it's like they're always asking when's it gonna drop or like when's it gonna come out. I'm just like, oh shit, I don't have one. And then I make one, and then that stresses me out, and then I make another one, and then that kind of pushes out, and then everybody's expectations gets lower, and it's just like you've drove yourself into a corner. So I don't like to put official until I'm fully done with the project.
In my case, I just let them hear what I have if I have my phone on me. And usually my response when people ask that is when it's ready. Because to
Um,
be honest, like people who ask that, I get that their intentions are good, but sometimes we just need to fucking take time on this stuff.
yeah, because time like marinates music basically. It's like food
Yeah.
almost. You gotta add your spices, and that's what makes music special. Is that you can make anything from it.
But the one thing people don't realize is that it takes time.
And then people start begging for more.
And if people can't fucking realize that, then holy shit, we are in for the worst.
It's like you want food, but it takes time to make food. So if you rush food, it's like you order chicken, right? And then you order it, and it's like, yo, I want this now. I've already had like 3 of them, and it's like, you want it? Here's some uncooked chicken, and then it's just bad tasting. Then it's poisonous. Then that's kind of like just unfinished music that's not good. It's like you didn't give it time.
Exactly. And then you feel hurt once they say, fuck this, I'm going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I bet McDonald's would have a lovely album.
Oh boy.
Buy our food, buy our food. Oh my god. I just remembered they actually did that. They did that multiple. Oh fuck. You remember the fucking cartoons about the McDonald's characters?
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Fucking.
Did they actually have an album?
Funky and Supo?
Tell me, what's the most difficult thing about being in your position, you know, as being a YouTuber with a pretty high amount of a following?
Dealing with fandoms. There are some fandoms that are really nice to cooperate with, such as the rhythm gaming community. Some of the rhythm gaming community can actually be very nice at times.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the fandoms that take. They don't exactly look at the result, they look at the consistency. So every time I upload a song, it's like a dopamine rush to them and they want more.
But it takes time.
As I've always said, people just don't realize that.
Do you enjoy listening to your own music from time to time?
Only when I'm outside.
Like away from like all the workspace, like away from the work environment?
Yep. There are certain places that I go that I just listen to my music.
You have any favorites in particular?
Blessing of a Moon near a bike trail.
Hmm. Do you have any plans that are coming up next for new projects and stuff?
Well, the Voyage era has already begun with the release of ferrofluid.
Mm-hmm.
And next up, I guess I just have to go with every other alias that I have. So you have DM Dokuro coming up with something, Pocket, Solar, and Helix Comet, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Helix is going to be interesting to work with because literally it's just me transcribing what, or no, not transcribing, but arranging and just seeing what kind of things I can make with something called Neural Composer.
Hmm.
Beautiful piece of software that generates its own music, but crudely.
Oh.
So it just starts off as beeps and bloops and shit, but they're somehow uniform. Like their harmonies are brilliant.
Yeah, because it's like, is it an AI that does it all?
Yes.
Mm.
And I do have some interesting feedback on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I noticed that a lot of the percussion, so to say,
Yeah.
has not been removed from any of the MIDIs they have used to have the program learn.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you have like, so it's like at some points in a random generation, you'll hear, and usually that's like for channel 10 of a general MIDI, because usually that would just be a kick, a snare, and a hi-hat.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of neglected to take those out, so you would just have somewhere in the generation. I always wondered what would happen if you were to take that out and refeed it with just plain harmony.
Yeah.
Because usually, like if you just take away the drum sets, you're left with.
You're just left with that. Because that's the one thing it's like it doesn't have any drums, so it's like, well, I guess we gotta use the next best thing.
And sometimes the next best thing is not really the next best thing.
What would you say to like a fan or someone who says, "How can I end up in your position? What do I need to do to be in like a spot like yours?"
Be honest.
Mm.
There is no worse content creator than a liar.
Yeah.
I've done that too many times in the past, and I can tell you they all ended fucking miserably.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to lie, at least make a lesson out of it.
A lesson to be learned.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that your community like doesn't know that you would love them to know, like, or something that they just haven't like really gotten the message of?
Mental health is a serious issue. If you can't appreciate someone's mental health, or if you can't put someone's mental health first, then are you really a fan? Or did you just come here for what you want? Be sure to ask yourself that when you listen to someone's music and you think, hey, I need to stand this guy. Nothing good comes out of standing people.
Yeah.
Nothing good at all.
What do you do to recover from stressful workloads or stressful things that have happened in music or YouTube?
Just recently, I've just set up my Nintendo 64. I just wish I had a good fucking capture card to record it. But no, instead I have to fucking find an HDMI adapter for it. I'm going to be stuck with the Hyperkin 3-in-1 until then. I have to buy that soon. But I'm also buying the fucking Retrobit Tribute 64 controllers.
Mm.
Those look nice. I even got one in sea salt ice cream. What you laughing about? It's fucking Aqua.
Yeah.
What you know about Aqua?
Isn't sea salt ice cream from what game? Is it Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I don't play Kingdom Hearts that much, but I know specifically about that. I've watched people play it before.
I don't know. It's a beautiful shade of Aqua.
Mm-hmm. I like all colors. Every color's peaceful to me. I just choose red because it's the most upfront. Basically says like I'm confident in what I make. That's why I use red in most of my like video thumbnails and stuff. But red could also lead to downfall at times as well.
There is a beautiful story to tell with colors, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of why my channel icon is the way it is. I just call that the mark of the failure. And, that's just reflective of me. People may ask if I'm okay and shit. Obviously, the answer is no. It's like once you let go of something, it haunts you.
For how long?
That's the scary part of it.
Mm.
Sometimes it could take weeks, months, or maybe even years. Letting go of a project that you've spent so much time on just fucks you up.
Yeah. I've had many times in the past where I'd work on, for example, I keep going to my album because it's the most recent thing I've done, and I never took music serious into it until like because when real shit happens in life and you can like make music off of that, that's just what I outlet my music to, and that's like my peacemaker. So like I like to always say this when I explain how like my music works and how I want to be known for is that my scars and my events in my life that are really tough that I've been through is my story. And every album is a book, and each song is the chapter that you are reading. And
Pretty much.
yeah, that's what I try to make my entire whole music based off of, is just being like an entire story that you're just reading.
And as you go, your discography will be very indicative of how much you've changed over the years.
Mm-hmm. And then you can read the full story whenever it finishes, which will probably be never, because it'll keep going on until eventually when you die. But yeah, that's a different thing. That's just the end of the story from there.
Mortality is a bitch.
Yeah. But immortality sounds scary as well. Seeing everybody around you die, that thought scary. Can't even imagine that.
I mean, sure, you can't die, but you can still feel pain.
Yeah.
You're practically like Vegeta asking for immortality. Just because you can't die does not mean you cannot feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time you fucking actually get immortality, somebody's going to punch you over and over again. You're going to ask them to stop. Chances are they're not. And rather than begging for sweet death, it's just going to fucking ignore you.
Going back to the alias thing you said, do the aliases come from like anything? Is there any deeper meaning to them?
That will have to be explained in the future.
Just because I'm wondering, in every song you've made, like out of all of them, which one has been like the most thought put into it? Like you're basically trying to tell everybody something, a big message.
Action and consequence. It was the exact moment where I had to either decide for my mental health or for calamity. It was a really horrible thing to think of at the time because I didn't want to leave, and yet it was killing me. So I had to sit there assuring myself that nothing would happen, but I knew down deep inside that something would.
Mm-hmm. And now that now that you're over,
Free from calamity.
is there any other, like, will you ever do a game project like that again?
Absolutely not.
Too much.
Especially with when dealing with fandoms that are just toxic.
Mm-hmm. In Calamity, as a sense, which one was kind of like it basically broke you? How much to make one song on Calamity? Which one would you say that one song is that kind of like you were just basically almost to your breaking point?
Well, let me answer with another question. Which song has people constantly harassed me for, would not let go of, and continue to fucking ask me every day? It's Supreme Calamitous.
Supreme Calamitous. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because you
That
would talk.
song
Mm-hmm.
literally broke me.
Because people kept begging for it.
People kept begging, asking, demanding, harassing. And by the time I give it to them, they still harass.
Mm-hmm.
It's become a meme at this point. A meme which has to die.
And it's not rested yet. With Supreme Calamitas, how much time did it take to make that?
A whole month non-stop.
Every day just going back to it? Even if you didn't want to?
Mm-hmm. Just fucking chugging blackberry monster.
Are you proud of it?
No. Especially since people keep saying that the doppelganger calamitous track sounds much better than Supreme Calamitous.
Mm-hmm.
That just hurts me because they were asking for this shit and all of a sudden they changed their minds.
Yeah. People are like that when it comes to music, and it's a scary thing. Because people just want something one minute, and then next minute their music taste is already like veered a different direction. And that's the tough thing about making music.
It really is.
Is there anything that your audience doesn't know about you that you really think that they should?
I think they already know that I have autism.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about something that I really don't know what they don't know. Damn. Oh, I guess my favorite soda is pomegranate dry, I guess.
You love to hear it.
Orange dry is also great.
Dr. Pepper's amazing to me. I don't like fruit sodas that much, but orange Fanta once in a while is really good.
Well, if you actually want something that actually tastes like orange, go for orange dry.
Mm. For I guess for one more big question, is there anything that you'd like to tell your audience about if they were to like to watch this? Like, is there anything that you want them to know? Like any last things?
Be sure to treat your musicians like humans. If if at any point that they ask you to back off, please just respect that and back off. Don't keep telling them like this is wrong. Oh, you should cater to that because we have to deal with so many different things at once and just hearing that you're not satisfied with how we're dealing with this it's disheartening because I don't know what you want. And more than likely, I'm not going to understand what you're going to want. In this context, it's best to just leave things as they are. Because if you give a musician enough time and patience, then obviously you're going to get some quality content. But if you keep asking for shit, then it's going to end up like Toxic Wisdom, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just sound the same.